Other interesting cultural news, you have Anheuser Busch posting a picture of a dalmatian. However, they do not clarify its pronouns, and they are roasted and ratioed immediately. Now, Anheuser Busch used to be a beloved American brand for literally decades in terms of being the #1 sales spot in the United States, in terms of existence, well over 100 years. And this is a picture of some of the iconic Clydesdale horses, and then they have a dalmatian with a interesting sweater on. Now, it looks like the text before the actual picture is, quote, this is from Anheuser Busch, "Drop a puck if you're ready for the hockey season," unquote. And then they have the picture of the Clydesdale with the little dalmatian with the, I guess the St. Louis Blues sweatshirt jersey thingamajig. And of course, there are a lot of hidden comments. We'll get to them in a minute. Now, of course, do you think this will be positive, negative? Again, the brand that can't define a woman and really can't define a customer base as they alienate people on the right, people on the left, people in the middle. I wonder what the comments are. Let's dive in. Now, let's see here. The first comment, Laura King says, quote, "Keep boycotting at hashtag Bud Light, Anheuser Busch InBev." And she got 4 likes. Mr. Ryan Tree Fitty, although he spelled it with a THREE. Perhaps I've gotten the meme wrong all these years. Perhaps it was a arboretum and a tree metaphor. Nevertheless, Ryan Tree Fitty says, quote, "What's the dog's gender?" unquote, getting 1 like. Someone by the name of Right from the D said, quote, "I'm sure Dylan is excited," unquote, in reference to Dylan Mulvaney, the trans activist that Bud Light, Anheuser Busch, and Bev hired for a marketing campaign that subsequently lost them 30% of their sales week over week. And actually, in terms of the fiscal Q2, $400 million in sales just evaporated compared to the same fiscal Q2 last year. And in terms of sales volume is usually down between 25 and 27% week over week on average. Now, you do have a real compliment out there to investigate right now. Someone by the name of Gibbs, a proud St. Louis Blues fan, says, quote, "Let's go Blues," and has a picture of a puck on. It's a picture of a hockey puck on ice skates. So apparently the hockey puck has become a humanoid thing. And when I click on his profile, he has 3,400 followers, which that's ridiculous. I have almost 400, and it's all about quality over quantity. Humble brag. I just had the best followers. Now, at NICTOPBING. It looks like I'll be damned. He has original posts. They're all around the sports balls or the hockey balls thing. The pucks thing. Not very many reposts. I'll be damned, we have a real human interacting in a positive fashion with Anheuser Busch InBev. Look at the clock and mark this day down in history. This has been a first since April 1st, I suspect. I should call their marketing department and congratulate them. Someone else says, "We just saw the best version of Jordan Binnington. I don't think he can play better." Unquote. He got 116 likes, which, again, very well might be the most positive thing that has ever been tweeted in regard to that. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah. Let me see here. We have somebody named Pirates Trump saying, "We don't drink your woke beer," unquote. Let's see. Slur I can't say, or it'd be in poor taste to say. A lot of people referencing the clip that has recently become viral going around the internet in which Dylan Mulvaney, a biological man, won Woman of the Year. And of course, they're referencing Bud Light because, again, they hired Dylan Mulvaney, giving this person probably more money than most. Probably in those 2 pictures that they hired Dylan to take was more money than most people make in a year. Which, good God, that's fascinating to say the least. Now, let's go to the hidden comments. Because, of course, they believe in censorship because they're morally, mentally vacuous, to say the least. I'm old-fashioned. Some call me an old soul. I would argue I'm just also an American. I might not agree with what you are saying, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it, which is why my comment section are always open. And if you read me in the comments, they are not always favorable. I do appreciate harsh critique because I think that's how you actually grow best in life. But ironically enough, the 3 times I've been censored on YouTube where YouTube overrode my settings, or my settings are always by default allow all comments, was 1, ironically, when I made a video talking about YouTube censoring me. 2, when I talked about Bud Light censoring me on Twitter, YouTube came in and disabled all comments. And 3, I believe it was talking about the statistics of the sales for Bud Light, or it was more censorship about Bud Light, and that also immediately they disabled all comments. And when I go in YouTube Studio, the back end, and actually change it back to allow all comments, it just immediately switched back to disabled. So let's look at the hidden comments, the comments they don't want you to see. Now, someone by the name of Joe said, quote, "Real scumbag beer company," getting 2 likes. Someone by the name of Trump 2024 saying, quote, "Are you going to apologize for this?" And it's a picture of Dylan Mulvaney on the iconic Bud Light can, which I was going to say, in terms of marketing and history, business history, that can is probably worth, you could argue that can is worth over $400 million. Because that can cost, and that's just one fiscal quarter, $400 million of sales is gone. Perhaps the most valuable piece of merchandise in regards to damaging a company's reputation in history. Quite fascinating to say, at least from a business perspective. And a couple other ones saying, what's the dog's gender? The dog should be working for Yangling. That's kind of funny. So, interestingly enough, there was 1 or 2 real comments that were positive. Is this a turning point in the Bud Light boycott? I don't really think so. Anheuser Busch is much less known on social media. Most Americans don't realize the interconnected web of how many businesses own many brands. And that's why when you look at the social media interaction, the most negative responses in terms of feedback and replies is usually specifically for the Bud Light Twitter handle, then a little bit on the Budweiser handle, and then the Anheuser Busch handle or profile. It's usually about 50-50. So I'm not too surprised that they weren't completely ratioed. They were ratioed, don't get me wrong, but not quite as usual. And it'll be interesting to see in just a couple minutes. They actually censored a couple comments that were here an hour ago. So Rich Mooney actually had a comment here where he asked, what's the poll of you? Would you buy an Anheuser Busch Bud Light or would you not buy it? And that's gone. So not too surprised they're in the draconian fashion. They're increasing and ramping up their censorship, which of course is morally and mentally vacuous to say the least. It'll be interesting to see what really happens to public perception when it comes to Anheuser Busch and Bev. Have you forgotten or forgiven them yet? Are you still participating in the boycott? It'd be interesting to see, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you everyone again for taking the time to tune in today. I appreciate your support. Trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of October. So if you could click that button, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, any comments are also appreciated because the feedback is how we grow, make the channel better and better together. Lastly, if you like the channel, it may or may not help with the algorithm. It's a mysterious thing. I'm not quite sure. It seems like it changes on a weekly basis on which videos go viral, which ones get shared more. But at the end of the day, your support is also always appreciated. Also, lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.